Hello, and welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranch. Today I'll be giving you some more prelim fights for UFC 274. Be sure to check out the video I did yesterday where I go over early prelims. Well, one of them is actually the prelim feature fight because the order switched, but a couple early prelim fights and the prelim feature fight. And today I'm going to be covering three more fights, prelim fights for UFC Vegas 274. This is a Capper Comparison Picks. So if you're unfamiliar with the show, it's what I do is I take free pick predictions from the internet, from my favorite handicappers. I put them side by side on which side they're taking, and then I give you my pick depending, and reasons of why I'm going that way. Sometimes I have no idea and I just lean with the cappers. That's how I do things. So this is for betting purposes. If you have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, and or turn the channel, because I gamble and that's what I do. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna get into this. We're gonna start this show off with the flyweight fight between Clemson Rodriguez taking on C.J.Vergara. Okay, Cletson Rodriguez is the big favorite here, -300 favorite for Rodriguez. He comes in with a record of 7 wins and only 1 loss, and he's taking on a very prime C.J.Vergara, making his second fight in the UFC with a professional record of 9-3-1. C.J.Vergara is a +250 underdog, as you can see, taking on the UFC debutant in Clemson Rodriguez, interesting enough. So this is always awkward for me when I'm out at a hotel having to do this, because I gotta write sideways and I gotta try to keep attention to where the camera's looking. I don't want to have my back to the camera the whole time, it makes senseless. But let's discuss this a little bit. Thankfully I do my research. I got some info, documents received, right, Real News MMA. So Cledson Rodriguez, his nickname is his initials, KR, real original there. Clemson KR Rodriguez. He's coming off a nice win against Santo, what's that guy's name? I can't even read my own writing. Quitolo. That was in the Contender Series where he got a unanimous decision. Prior to that, he was in Jungle Fights where he beat Eduardo Enrique da Silva by rear naked choke in round 2. Aside from Jungle Fights, he's also dabbled in Lux Combat and FLC. His only loss was in a Brazilian regional called Amapa Regional, where it just says loss. It doesn't say how or method, but he lost to some dude named Rodrigo Malonio. Anyway, Cletson Rodriguez comes in, 26 years old, and he trains out of Nogueira Gym. Oh, man. Okay. Hopefully I'm not erasing the other side. Team Nogueira out of Brazil, and he is taking on this guy, C.J.Vergara, 30 years old. Okay, let's talk about C.J.Vergara. C.J.Vergara has a professional record of 9-3-1. He's a +250 underdog, plus money. He is coming off a loss to Odie Osborne by unanimous decision. That was his UFC debut. Prior to that, he found his way into the UFC off of Dana White's Contender Series, where he got a nice win over Bruno Correa. I do believe he was the underdog there, but he won by a knee to the body in 41 seconds of the first round. Good on you, C.J.Vergara. Okay, and prior to the Dana White Contender Series, he came out of his fights in Fury FC, where he plowed through a bunch of people. And he also was in the LFA, where he does have his most recent loss to a guy named Devin Miller, rear naked choke, 54 seconds of round 1. Not a good look. That was his last loss in the LFA. But he's 4-1, so he's 4-1 in his last 5. That one loss being against Odie Osborne in his UFC debut just recently. I want to add, he does have a flying knee win over a guy named Sean Solis in Fury FC, so that is always on the table as potentially a showmaker. This is going to be actually low-key a very interesting fight, because both these guys pretty green to the UFC. I mean, Clemson Rodriguez coming out of Contender Series. C.J.Vergara only one fight in the UFC, and it was against Odie Osborne, where he's expected to lose, and he did so. Cletson Rodriguez looks like he's built like he takes steroids. I don't want to make any claims, but he does. He is ripped, shredded. He's a beast of a man at flyweight. He's phenomenal. He's like the male version of Ariana Cortez, kind of. or Ariana Cortez is kind of the male version of Ariana Cortez. But anyway, back to this fight. C.J.Vergara does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Both these dudes are the same height. And Vergara trains out of Pete Spratt Muay Thai, I do believe. Yeah, I couldn't open it up on Tapology, I don't think, because I didn't write where it's from, but I do believe it's in Brazil. So, let's see what the cappers have to say here. I got a whole new flock of cappers, as I do every single episode of Capper Comparison Picks. This is where it starts to get awkward. I have a horrible side profile because I'm chubby and... Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this as best as I can. Here we go. It's taking Cledson Rodriguez. We've got Cody from Blood Money. Cody, Blood Money MMA Bets, is saying Rodriguez should get the decision here. Okay, also taking Kledson. Is it Kleydson? I don't know. Kledson. I heard it pronounced Clayton. Kledson. Like they don't even pronounce the S, some of these cappers. But I pronounce it phonetically how it's spelled. Kledson. Kledson Rodriguez. Also taking Kledson, we've got both the Stat Diggers, Wheezy, and DFS by the Numbers, Brady. And actually, Wheezy is taking the over here, which is interesting. Usually those guys like to bet violence, but Wheezy did say he thinks it's going to go for the over. And Wheezy's a stat guy. He knows. And look at the odds for the total are very close. You got the over at minus 125 at over 2.5 rounds, minus 125. Under is minus 105. So the bookies are even unsure where this fight's going to end. Then we've got the MMA Guru. He is the one from the UK with the beanie. Very funny dude. I don't know exactly how he did last week, but I know 6 fights in, he was a 1-5 because thank you. Shout out to Otis the Beefy One. He was hopping between all these different live streams and watch-alongs. He jumped into mine. He's like, "Oh, MMA Guru's doing horrible. He's flipping out because he's 1-5 right now." That's how I know. So anyway, but I respect Guru. He does know what he's talking about. Sometimes people just have a bad week in predicting. Then we've got the MMA Experts. That's AJ DeVito. MMA Experts also taking Clemson Rodriguez. And finally, we got the MMA Fortune Teller, the Teller, out of, he lives right down the road from American Top Team down in Florida. He sees fighters. He saw Andre Arlovsky at Walmart, for Christ's sakes. The guy sees fighters all the time just going to the store. It's like a neighborhood thing. He lives in the, I don't know if he's right in Coconut Creek, but he runs into these guys always. So this is a full capper consensus. Should I do I'll do the dance because Nora's not here at the hotel. So, a full capper consensus, here's some good luck pearls for you bettors, is when all the handicappers are in agreement, in a consensus agreement on who's going to win. And in this case, everybody is taking Cletson Rodriguez to beat C.J.Vergara. But that's kind of, you see that coming because he's a minus 300, 3-1 favorite. That's kind of see that coming. But, and I guess I'm not going to, in this case, it's rare that I do go against full capper consensus. I did yesterday. Check it out. I picked Journey Newsom, and that was against everybody. Everybody was picking against Journey Newsom, and they were taking Fernie Garcia, unproven. But anyway, in this case, both these guys are unproven. Rodrigues doesn't even have one UFC fight, but he's a contender and he's a prospect, and I guess his skills are top notch. He's a hot prospect coming in, and that's why he's got that minus 300 by his name. And the money has been going on him as well because it opened up at minus 275. So now it's money comes in on that, making the line even less attractive. So because the bookies want to keep it even, so they want more people to put money on C.J.Vergara. And he opened up at a plus 220, and now he's at a plus 250, so a 30-point line movement there for Vergara, C.J.Vergara. And that Vergara could get it done. I'm not very confident with this, but I will side with a full capper consensus. I'm not going to go against him unless I have good reason, and I explained why I picked Newsom yesterday. But anyway, here I will take Rodrigues. That's supposed to be on this side here, but I ran out of room. This is the travel board. The travel board's awkward. And I think he'll probably get it done, we'll say by decision. So my pick is Clemson Rodriguez by decision. Moving on. Next, we have the female flyweight fight between the most beautiful women on the card, debatably, in my opinion. No, this is going to be the prettiest fight on the card. Tracy Cortez taking on Melissa Gatto. Both of these female fighters look fantastic, look phenomenal. They could both have a fans only page and do very well with that page. I don't believe either one does. I don't know. I don't really go on to OnlyFans. But let's talk about this fight. Tracy Cortez, the favorite, record of 9-1 as a professional. She's a minus 160 favorite. Did that line move? It did. It dropped down from minus 180, meaning money's been coming in on the underdog Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto 8-0-2, undefeated. That may be a reason money's been coming in on her. She's opened up at a plus 150, has moved down to a plus 140 on Bet Online. That's where I get these odds from. Let's talk about the favorite first in Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez, training at a Fight Ready, one of my top 5 gyms. Definitely top 5 gym over there. She's coming off a win, but it wasn't a great win because it was a split decision against Justine Quiche. Justine Quiche, now she's tearing it up over in Bellator, but she was like 3-0 in the UFC. She lost 3 in a row and she boosted her. But now she's over in Bellator, I guess, winning over there. So I suppose that's a good win. But it was a split decision win, so that means at least one of the judges went in Justine Quiche's way. Before that, she beat Stephanie Egger. Good unanimous decision victory there. Her UFC debut prior to that, she beat Vanessa Melo. Unanimous decision again. Very good win. Prior to that, she was in the Contender Series where she beat Maria Agapova by unanimous decision. You got to figure unanimous decision happens often in female fights. And before that, she beat my girl, one of my favorite fighters right now, she beat her in Invicta by a split decision, meaning, once again, not all 3 judges were in agreement, but she beat Erin Blanchfield by split decision. I'm high on Erin Blanchfield. Her only loss ever, 9-1, was way back in her pro debut. She came in, 0-0-0, and she Got Gillency choked round 2. Invicta by this girl named Sherry Maraski. Sherry Maraski she looks like you think Carnelossi got muscles. This girl's a flyweight and got bigger muscle. I mean, she's 10 pounds heavier, but still, this girl Sherry Maraski, she looks like a beast too as well. But I didn't really follow into that. But anyway, that was Tracy Cortez's UFC date, or not UFC. I'm sorry, her professional debut, and she was going against an undefeated fighter, so it was kind of odd stacked against her. And the girls, if you look at Sherry Maraski, she is a beast. Just her, I don't know, I've never seen her fight, but her Tapology picture makes her look phenomenal. Okay, let's talk about the underdog here, Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto is 2 years younger, 26 for Gato. Cortez is 28. Melissa Gatto, undefeated, as you can see, 8 wins, 0 losses, 2 draws. Now I'm going to get into that a little bit. Most recently, she's got a win over Sijara Eubanks. That's pretty good. Sijara Eubanks, known like kind of a journeywoman. Like she's there. I think she's got a 500 record. I don't even think she's in the UFC anymore. I'm pretty sure she's not. But Melissa Gatto beat her with a body kick in round 3. Her UFC debut was against Victoria Leonardo, also middling female flyweight at best. I would say middling at best. She might even be toward the lower end, but it was a doctor's stoppage because she broke her arm. Broke Victoria Leonardo's arm, round 2. Good on you, Melissa Gatto, for that. And prior to that, she beat Carol Hossa. Now that is probably, looking at her resume, that is her best win, is against Carol Hossa. That wasn't Nakao Cyborg. That's Cyborg's Brazilian regional fight promotion down there, Chris Cyborg's. So, yeah, that's a good win. She got her with the Kimura lock in round 1 over Carol Hossa. Prior to that, I will say her draws. Here's the draw. She had a draw in 2018 against Cidi Roca. Cidi Roca, that was in Mato Grosso do Sul, a Brazilian regional scene. And Cidi Roca, I guess, I'm not going to lie and say I watched the fight. I didn't. But from what I've heard, that was a controversial victory. Cidi Roca lost, or it was a draw, but Cidi Roca should have won. However, the judges down there do grade also fighter appearance, and Melissa Gatto is beautiful. So that's why this is I don't know if this is tinfoil hat stuff, but this is what I heard. The Brazilian judges, they do put beauty into when it's a close fight. They didn't want Gatto to have that loss on her record, so they made it a draw, even though Cidi Roca should have won that. Now, if you look at Cidi Roca now, 12-8-2. Not fantastic. Okay, let's look at the first person she had a draw against. This is why she's undefeated. Okay, the first person she had a draw against, a girl named Edna Oliveira. That was 2017, not that long ago. Still, meaningful, I suppose. It was a Bonito Eco fight. Another Bonito is actually a city in Mato Grosso do Sul, so that's in Brazil, Brazilian regional scene. And you look at Edna now on Tapology, her present record 10-9-1. So these girls that went to a draw with Melissa Gatto, and from what I heard, Cidi Roca, that should have been a win. I don't know. I'm not going to say I watched the fights. I didn't. But they're not too impressive. Like I mentioned I mentioned the best. I think Sijara Eubanks, all right. Victoria Leonardo, not very good. Carol Rosa, good. So that Carol Rosa is the best victory she has from Melissa Gatto. Interesting enough, Melissa Gatto fights out of MSP, the MSP facility. Check it out, Tapology. The entire population of fighters, all female, all female facility. Yet the staff is not all females. The staff has dudes. Lucky guys they are, being the coaching staff for an all-female gym called MSP. Fantastic. Melissa Gatto does have a 2-inch reach advantage, which may come into, but Tracy Cortez is, I mean, it's an inch on each hand. Nothing great. I mean, nothing phenomenal, just 2-inch reach. These girls are the same height. So let's see what the cappers have to say in this very interesting fight here between Tracy Cortez and Melissa Gatto. Starting with the favorite, taking Cortez, we've got, see, I'm not good at sideways. We've got the stat diggers, both Brady and Uncle Weezy are on the side of Tracy Cortez. Then taking Melissa Gatto, we've got the teller, MMA fortune teller, excuse me, on the side of Melissa Gatto. Interesting enough, neither one of these girls have nicknames. The nicknames are fun, man. I think every fighter should have some sort of nickname, even if they're initials. You know how Cletson Rodriguez is KR? How come Melissa Gatto can't be MG? MG Melissa Gatto, I'm just playing. But anyway, then we taking Cortez. We've got Cody from Blood Money. Blood Money, Cody, of course, he's saying by decision. Female fight, decision. The bookies also think it's going to go to over 2.5 rounds. It's minus 210. So the bookies also think it's a safe bet for women. I mean, usually if you get it under 2.5, it's going to be a plus money because females don't usually, they're durable, surprisingly durable, and you know, they don't really have possessed the knockout power that you can't get up from. Some cases they do, but in this case, Gato Cortez, nah. Just look at their recent fights, and actually Gato is destroying people. But if you look at Cortez, all decision. Her last 5, decision, all wins by decision. Then taking Gato, we've got the MMA experts, AJ DeVito, taking Melissa Gatto. So here it is, boys, all tied up with the Beanie Guru, knit cap beanie MMA guru from the UK for the tiebreaker. Who's he going to take between these two? Flip a coin, he says, usually. No, he didn't in this case. He really did do a little breakdown. And he likes Melissa Gatto here at plus money at plus 140. Good on that. Good. Plus 140, plus money. And she wins the capper comparison side by side. Majority of the cappers in this show are on the side of Melissa Gatto. However, I'm going to go with their capper minority because one specific thing sticks out. I am super high on Erin Blanchfield. Cortez managed to stifle Erin Blanchfield's wrestling, and I think that's what's going to be the key here is Cortez will have better rest. Gato has probably got better striking, I would imagine, because she does have a lot of those finishes. But I think I'm going to give control time and well-roundedness also to Tracy Cortez, and I do like her. Like I had a talk with Mbe, and she was like, "Why are you taking Cortez? Can you explain it?" I'm like, "Yeah, because she beat the best." And I was like, "The best, Erin Blanchfield, baby." That's how high I'm at. So I'm going with Cortez to get it done over Melissa Gatto here in a very close decision. It might even go a split decision, but I'm fairly confident that Cortez will win over the ungiven Melissa Gatto. Her first loss. This is not in Brazil. So if it's a looks contest, both these girls very pretty. So there's not a clear winner if the judges do like oh, she's so much prettier. You know, I heard that's what happened with CD Roca. That's why it wasn't a loss, it was a draw, because Melissa Gatto had the looks. So anyway, I gotta press pause now, erase the board and set it up. So moving on. Moving on. Next we have the welterweight fight between Francisco Trinaldo taking on Danny Roberts. Very interesting fight. Francisco Trinaldo and Danny Roberts, coin flip. It opened up. Francisco Trinaldo was a slight favorite. He was minus 115, where Danny Roberts was a minus 105. Here's the kicker now. Let's talk about these guys. Francisco Trinaldo, what's his nickname? Masaranduba. Masaranduba, little info here, is a tree. It's like a bamboo type of wood tree. Very, very strong wood, very durable and strong. And that's what, I guess, the Masaranduba is, that tree. It's like a Brazilian bamboo tree or something. Trinaldo, 43 years old. And taking on Danny Roberts, who is 34. So 9-year age difference here in these two fighters. We're going to start out talking about Trinaldo first. He trains out of the Constrictor team down in Brazil. That's Constrictor team. What's his name? Shoot, I can't think of it. It's off the top of my tongue. But Constrictor team, good Brazilian gym, where Danny Roberts is training out of Black Zillions, which I thought Black Zillions is now Sanford MMA, but on Tapology it's listed as Black Zillions. I know Henry Hooft is listed as a staff, and Henry Hooft is now Sanford MMA, so I don't know what the deal is there. But San Francisco Trinaldo, Masaranduba, 27-8 as a professional, a lot of experience there. That 43 years old, man, I told you, I've mentioned it before, and I'm not the only one who thinks it, but a lot of these Brazilian guys, they'll cut a couple years off their true age. For example, who was last week, Joe Anderson Brito, 27. I don't think he is. I think he might be a few years older than that. And a lot of the Brazilians, their papers, they don't really have their birth certificates, so you have to just go by what they say, kind of. And look at, like, Jose Aldo. I mean, I think he might be 5 years older than he says. I think a lot of the Brazilians, they just they try to. So my point is, Francisco Trinaldo on paper says 43. He could be older than that. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I guess I'll go with what he says and, say he's 43. But he's coming off of a nice win against Dwight Grant. It was a split decision, but still a win nonetheless. Prior to that, he lost to Muslim Salikov, the king of Kung Fu. Muslim Salikov, one of my favorite fighters. Now he's up there in age as well. I think right now he's like 41. But Muslim Salikov, I like that dude a lot. He's had over 100 kickboxing fights, that guy, Muslim Salikov. Anyway, Francisco Trinaldo, Muslim Salikov went to unanimous decision. They went to decision where Salikov did get the win there. Prior to that, Francisco Trinaldo took out Jai Herbert, overhand left in round 3. Good on you. Before that, John Makdessi, unanimous decision win there. And before that, Bobby Green. Yes, Francisco Trinaldo gave Bobby Green an L by unanimous decision. So he's 4-1 in his last 5. Pretty darn good for a 43-year-old that everybody's saying is all done and washed up. Now, let's talk about Danny Roberts. Much younger, at 34 years old. Hot Chocolate, that's his nickname. Hot Chocolate Danny Roberts is coming off a split decision win over Ramazan Ameev. But really, is it? I did watch that fight, and to be honest with you, I went with Ameev. I know I did have money on it, so I was kind of biased. But if you guys watched that fight, I would say Roberts got a robbery there, because Ramazan Ameev, I believe he won every single round of that. But I'm not a judge, so who am I? Make your own determination. Try to find that fight and try to watch it, okay? Prior to them, to that, he beat Zalim Imadev by punches in round 2, beat him. He took a loss to Michel Pereira by a flying knee to ground punches, and that was in round 1. I think it was like a minute and something. I didn't write down the time of that, but it wasn't like super. It might have, you know what? It might have even been after the half round mark. It might have been like 4 minutes or something. I really can't remember. But Michel Pereira, high flying knee, got it done over Danny Roberts there. And before that, he lost to Claudio Silva, armbar, round 3. And before that, he beat David Zawada by split decision. So Danny Roberts, I mean, what's he got? He got 1, 2, 3 and 2 in his last 5, but he does have tail of the tape everywhere you look at it. He's 9 years younger, 4-inch reach advantage and 4-inch height advantage. So Robert's going to be the bigger frame dude, the much younger dude. So probably cardio is going to go that way as well for Danny Roberts. I guess we'll just, this one I am, to be honest with you, I am on the fence about it. I did originally fresh out, like last week I said Trinaldo, just off the top of my head, only because I was more aware of his recency, his last 5, and he's fought some good talent. Only losing to Muslim Salikov in his last 5. I like that he's beat Bobby Green, Jai Herbert, Dwight Grant, John McDessie too. I mean, so at 43 years old, I think Francisco Trinaldo is getting done. But I don't know. I'm still on the fence because Danny Roberts got height, he's got reach, and he's got youth all on his side. Let's see what the cappers have to say. We're going to start with Trinaldo because at one time he was a slight favorite. We've got taken Francisco Trinaldo, both the Stat Digger, DFS, and Wheezy, Uncle Wheezy, both on this, and these guys are sharp, they're smart bettors, and they know it's the real deal, and they're taking Francisco Trinaldo. Then jumping over to the Roberts side, we got the Guru, MMA Guru, and he's taking Roberts by decision. Also taking Francisco Trinaldo, Cody from Blood Money, Cody, and he's saying Trinaldo in the 3rd round. In the 3rd. I love that, Cody. Round bet it, round picking. That's a guaranteed plus money. Guaranteed. This would be just it's minus 110 is damn near plus money anyway. You don't have to pick the round. You can pick the method if you want. But Blood Money is saying it's going to be a finish in the 3rd round. Okay, I like it. It's an interesting pick because you got to consider who's going to have the better cardio come 3rd round. Okay, anyway, then we've got MMA Fortune Teller taking Danny Roberts. And finally, for the tiebreaker, we've got AJ DeVito from MMA Experts. Fantastic capper. He's very busy, puts a lot of work into it, makes videos pretty much on the daily. He covers PFL, LFA, Bellator, all that. He's always making content, dude. And in this case, and he's smart too. In this case, he is taking Danny Roberts to get it done over the old, aging Francisco Trinaldo. And probably for the reasons, as I said, because of the youth, height, and reach advantage. MMA Experts also saying it's going to be by decision. So I imagine he's going to think the volume and control time is going the way of Roberts. I predict that it's going to stay standing up, but you never can tell because Francisco Trinaldo does train out of the Constrictor team where they love jiu-jitsu down in Brazil. Danny Roberts training Black Zillions where they also like wrestling. So I don't know. It's gonna be a very fun fight here. But I'm gonna, I was thinking about it a lot, and I'm gonna stick with my original pick. I'm gonna stick with Francisco Trinaldo. 40. If he's telling the truth, 43 is still not that. I know welterweight. It's not like light heavyweight. Like Glover Teixeira's 42, and he's the champ. So, but that is light heavyweight, 205ers. This is 170 pounds. It's kind of right at the cusp of where you can still be over 40 and still be great. Once you get lower, once you get into like the bantamweights, anything 155 and down, under, you do not want to be fighting as a 40-year-old in those weight classes. I'm just saying. But I think 170 and plus recency, he hasn't really lost a step. He lost to Muslim Salikov, and that was by decision. And the rest of the guys, age didn't matter against Bobby Green, John McDessie, or Dwight Grant. Now did it. So I don't think age is going to matter much here against Danny Roberts. Height and reach might come into play though. But I'm going to go with Francisco Trinaldo. Hopefully I'm going to hold out. I think a lot of casual bettors and such will also be ageist and be age discriminatory and take more money on Roberts, causing that line from -110 to go up to plus money. So I will wait to put him or to bet Trinaldo like on a prop. I don't even prop bet until fight day anyway. So, but I will throw him in the parlay. So to the parlay for the show. So to recap, time check. Okay, we're looking good. To recap, I've got Clemson Rodriguez, I didn't write it down, beating, with the full capper consensus, beating C.J.Vergara. And I think it's going to happen via decision over Vergara. So I'll write that down for you right there. But Vergara is worth maybe a little bit of a sprinkle, a little hedge bet, because at plus 250, that's not you know, it's not like throwing your money away. You want to, like a straight bet Clemson Rodriguez minus 300. No, do not do that. Be smart. You can put them in a parlay. Do not straight bet them on the money line. If you want to straight bet them, pick the prop so at least you get maybe plus money. I don't even know if decision will get to plus money. So anyway, then I've got Tracy Cortez beating Melissa Gatto in the cage and by looks. Edging her out just slightly by looks, I think. I don't know. I'm still on the fence with who's prettier. But I do think Tracy Cortez is a better fighter, and she should get the win here. And I think she's going to win by decision. Once again, the line is loving Melissa Gatto. As of recently, it did move that way. So maybe that 160 might drop to maybe who knows, maybe a 140, might even less than that. I don't know, because a lot of people like that zero there, the goose egg on the losses. They like undefeated fighters that are very pretty. So, and finally, I've got the old Francisco Masaranduba, Francisco Trinaldo, beating Hot Chocolate, Danny Roberts, and I think he's going to probably get it done. I didn't say how, but let's see. Let's see his. Yeah, we're going to go with decision. That's how he's pretty much finishing all these fights most recently. 4-1 in his last 5, very good. Hasn't lost a step. Maybe a little bit of cardio come later in the fight, but I think he's going to win round 1 and 2. Back pocket them, then just. Roberts may win round 3 because of the cardio there, but he's not going to finish them. And Trinaldo will already have rounds 1 and 2 in the pocket. So I think he's going to edge out the unanimous decision there. So there you have it. Let me write these other picks in there. Cortez, decision. Francisco Trinaldo, decision. Kind of boring, but whatever. It is what it is, what it is. So there you have it. Gather the info. Place those bets and cash those tickets. I appreciate you watching me from the hotel room because I'm out of town with work again. Work does take me out of town quite often. I would say on average once once every week or once every other week on average. That's how it's been looking lately. But anyway, thanks for watching. Good luck on your bets. Make sure you give me that like. Fill the comments with everything you want to say about these 3 fights. And stay tuned for tomorrow when I give you, there's 3 more. The next is 3 more prelim fights. I already did the paperwork for it. We got Macy Chazon taking Norma Dumont, Brandon Royval taking Matt Schnell, and Blagoy Ivanov against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I will have a whole new flock of cappers. Stay tuned for that tomorrow night. Good luck on your bets, and have a good night. See you next time.